Dougherty, I'm from Sydney, and I'm the director of Gorilla Bay. So the film is about a woman she's on holiday basically, or she's trying to get away from her life, and in doing so she goes very far away from society, which is pretty easy to do in Australia, and she ends up finding herself followed by this suited figure. The actress is one of my best friends, and we kind of worked out the concept together, and then we filmed it near my mother's house, which is in the middle of nowhere. So the crew was my mum and me and my mum's partner. So the crew is very small, which made it in the nighttime scenes, it was just me and the actress, and I think it was probably a bit spookier making the film than it is to watch. I think we had to stand on the edge of this forest, and there was this moment, we had no lighting, we just had a torch. And I'm kind of staying there, I'm like, well, you go in first. And the actress is like, you're the director, after you. And nah, you're the actress, I've got to stand behind you and shoot you going into the forest. And we did this for about 10 minutes before both of us could actually work up the courage to just walk into a forest with no lights. And I ran into a few branches in that shoot. Sunset only lasts 25 minutes. So we shot it over 2 sunsets and 1 sunrise. So there's a portion of the film that is actually shot at sunrise, but you can't really tell because she's in a forest. But we just needed that light. So we didn't actually shoot for that long, but we had to shoot at very specific times of the day. I normally make comedies, and I really wanted to try to make something that was a challenge and that was really outside of anything that I had tried to make before. And yeah, I think that I definitely struggled with that. I found it quite hard to take it too seriously, and I think at the end of the day I watch it and it still feels kind of like a comedy to me, and I can see that people want to laugh, which is great. There's no wrong response to a film. It's very much up to interpretation, and that's the idea with a lot of the films that I make. And I think as a start-out filmmaker, it's really important to delve into what you're kind of trying to do, and the only way you can really do it, I think, is going out there and making films. And then sometimes you sit back and it has a different message to what you intended. But yeah, I really like making films that don't necessarily say something but more present an idea or allow an audience to come away from it thinking totally different things according to their own life experience. For me, it's really about finding my legs as a storyteller and finding the stories that I want to tell. And a lot of my films, I've made animation, 2D animation, I've made stop motion, I've made hand-painted animation, live action. I just made a film with puppets. And it's kind of working out what it is that I want to say. And so much of that is how you choose to say it. So yeah, I think that's why I'm trying to experiment with a couple of different genres, even though they're not necessarily my ballpark. I think it's really important just to learn as much as you can, and I have to do it, I think, if I'm going to learn about it. The biggest challenge that I set myself was to make a film by myself. So I wrote it and directed it and edited it, and I played all the characters. So the film is about clones, and I play 6 characters who are trapped in a courtyard and really struggling to get along with each other. And that was a really humbling experience when you stand there and you're by yourself and you forget to press record and your microphone runs out of batteries and you don't notice because you're acting in the scene, and the light changes and you can't control it because you're acting in it or you're doing something else, and it's like you have this checklist and the smallest things go wrong. And yeah, I think that was really hard, and I knew that it was going to be really hard, and part of it was that I wanted to find out why, and why it really showed me how important collaboration is and how much more fun it is to make films with other people, because when something goes wrong, you kind of look at each other and you laugh and it's funny, and when you're filming by yourself, you look around and it's like, oh, that was my fault, I did that dumb thing, and there's no one to laugh about with it. I just wasted an hour and now I have to like keep shooting. So yeah, that was probably the biggest. I made a lot of mistakes in that film, but I learnt the most from it of anything that I've ever done. I just really love stories, and I think that they have such a potential to shape the world and to offer different perspectives that you wouldn't otherwise see. So yeah, I just love telling stories, and I love giving people that moment to just become really immersed in something else outside of themselves and be part of something bigger and think about something differently that they might not have thought about before. And I think that's why I try to make things that aren't too obvious in what they're trying to say, because it does allow people to come away from it with a different idea. It's such an amazing time that all the equipment is available and you can so easily download an editing program and you can go out and you can make whatever you want to make, really. And yeah, people are held back by not being able to find funding or not having a huge crew or anything like this. But I think if you really want to tell a story, then you'll find a way. I definitely didn't expect, because the film was kind of an experiment that I shot over the course of a weekend with one of my best friends who's an actress. I really didn't expect it to be then in Berlin, which is really cool. Everyone's really friendly, and the films are all really great, and it's really exciting to be able to meet other filmmakers here, other Australian filmmakers who have come over for it or who are living here, and hear about their experiences as well. And attending the festival has been so fun for me, and it's been a really good opportunity to see a new city and meet some new people. And there's something really interesting about leaving your country and going so far away and then meeting other people who are doing the same thing as you in other parts of the world. And even in the audience tonight, there was a man who grew up in Gorilla Bay, which is crazy. It's on the other side of the world, and it's the tiniest place. There's like 3 houses there. So yeah, it's really amazing connecting people in that way. Next, I'm actually going to London for another film festival for a different film, and then it's playing in Vancouver, and then I've got a few projects that I'm working on. I'm writing a lot at the moment, and yeah, looking for the next story that I am passionate about enough to go and do those many hours of work. And yeah, I'm really excited to work with more and more people and collaborate with others and do less of running through forests by myself with a camera.